Hey, what's up guys? Hope everyone's been good. Being indifferent makes you immortal. Okay, not literally obviously, but indifference is one of the most underrated things you can ever learn. Not in a sense where you don't care about anything, but knowing when to apply indifference in scenarios in your life. There were certain philosophers versed in Stoicism that talked about the power of indifference a lot. And how they described indifference in Stoicism wasn't, oh, don't care about whether results were good or bad. Rather, learning to be okay with either result no matter what. The idea was to become strong enough to a point where they were good no matter which direction or outcome of a situation. Now, I'm not well versed in Stoicism, but I definitely co-sign as it pertains to the power of indifference. Like, it's so important to recognize things that are within and outside of your control. Being indifferent to external stimuli or things you can't control is so important. Don't just be a product of external stimuli or things that quote unquote happen to you. In other words, don't live in a reactive state. I'll give a recent example really easy to understand. Politics, news, the last election. I applied indifference to that situation because I understood that regardless of the outcome, my life, my next Monday does not change. Imagine waiting for a politician or some aspect of politics to change something about your life. That's hilarious. And the opposing argument to taking this indifferent approach as it pertains to politics is that it's selfish. I would actually say that it's the complete opposite. I'm sorry, but when it comes to politics and government, there are very small and insignificant aspects that people can control. But guess what? Instead of investing that time arguing back and forth with people about politics and what's right and watching the news 24/7, you know what you do have control of? You can always control how you react and your own actions. So instead of investing time and energy doing that, you can use that time and energy to further yourself and your goals so that eventually you can be in a position where you can't save the world, but you can make differences as it pertains to how you view the world. The point is to look at everything as a trade-off. That's why it's so important to discern what is within and outside of your control so that you can live your life accordingly. And also spend and delegate your time and energy on what is important and take away from what is not. And applying indifference to those scenarios that do not help or benefit you as it pertains to your goals or what you're trying to do in life saves you a lot of that wasted time and energy. You gotta understand that the world fights for your attention. Especially in the digital age we live in, your attention is exactly what they want. Whether it's anger, happiness, sadness, whatever emotion is associated with your attention is what is fought for. Being indifferent is so powerful in that aspect because it allows you to take back agency, control, and power from whatever negative external stimuli outside of your control. Like Tony Robbins said, energy flows where attention goes. Every day we're confronted with all kinds of stimuli, but it's up to you how you react and delegate your energy and time accordingly. Understand what is and what isn't bringing any value to your life. You can always choose how to react. Know when to apply indifference to the negative stimuli or when things don't serve you or bring value to you. One thing I've grown to be really good at is learning to say it is what it is to appropriate situations and then move on accordingly. It's kind of like a magic phrase, I guess. I'll tell you guys a personal story as an example. Back in college, I had to take 3/4 of Spanish. Now, I hated language classes the most just because of how interactive they were. Like, it's 9 a.m. on a Tuesday. I'm not trying to make small talk in Spanish with a random person. And you know how foreign language is, there's lots of different homework, online, tests every week, workbooks, real tedious, annoying stuff. So it was the final week where we'd take our final and then turn in the rest of our things, and then we'd sum up our final scores. And for whatever reason, the professor couldn't make it on the final day and told us to email her the rest of our work. So yeah, I emailed her, 2 weeks passed and our grades were uploaded, and long story short, she didn't upload a bunch of my assignments. So I emailed her telling her she didn't upload a bunch of it, and she didn't respond until like over a month and a half because apparently she was in Spain and I'm guessing that's why she left early. And this was during the summer. And when she responded, she said to go to her at the start of the next quarter. So yeah, next quarter starts, I went straight to her, and long story short, she told me there was nothing she could do because I emailed her too late, which doesn't make any sense. And yeah, I was pissed because it meant I had to retake the class. And I remember sitting there that first week, and keep in mind, not only do I hate language class, at this point I also hated school in general. Just because I saw how much BS and useless shit was involved, but we're not gonna get into that. But yeah, I was pissed, I didn't want to be there, I already learned all this crap, and here I was taking it again. But after a week or two when I learned to just accept it, and understand it is just what it is, I felt so much better. And once I became indifferent to what happened, I then thought, how could I get through this the fastest way possible, doing the least I can, skipping the most classes I can. And because I already went through the class, I did the absolute minimal possible, skipped a bunch of classes, and then I just took the test. And after receiving the first test, I realized they were just passing out the same test, just different versions, every single year. So I literally did nothing and aced the class, and I realized if they were passing out the same test, they probably did the same each and every level of Spanish they taught. And sure enough, I was right. I got a hold of all the tests beforehand, looked up all the versions, did all the tests and memorized it beforehand, and then from that point on, I literally had to do nothing because I didn't need to. I just aced the tests. But the point is, I could have stayed negative or angry towards that situation, but I realized there was no point in that, and how does that serve me in any way? And it just became whatever to me. I became indifferent to that situation and things got better for me. So bringing this back, a lot of the things we go through in our lives that seem negative to us, I would honestly say 90% really doesn't matter. But the point is to just know when to care and when not to care, and know when to apply indifference. Life is short and your time and energy are the most valuable things you'll ever have. When you approach certain situations with indifference, the only negative things you delegate time and energy towards are things that are on the extreme end that really matter. A lot of things that most people see as negative, that people put their energy towards and let consume them, from an objective standpoint really don't matter. So yeah, just try to learn to be indifferent to those scenarios. Anyways, if you liked the vid, leave a like, comment, or sub. And with that said, make sure you guys stay true. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Peace.